Hey, everybody, welcome to The Rundown with Ramon. My name is Ramon Ray, publisher of zoneofgenius.com, here with my new BFF. We just had a nice jolly laugh that you didn't hear because I didn't hit record with Elyse Dickerson. And Elyse, I'm glad you're here today. Thanks for being here. I hope this beautiful day we're here that you're doing okay, family and friends or those who are in your life. I hope they're well and I hope you're well.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Indeed. Elyse, right at the start, who are you? Please tell us about the company you're with, and then we'll dive into more details. But just introduce yourself to the people.
Sure. So I'm Elyse Stoltz Dickerson. I am a business owner. I am a mother. I am a wife. I am a daughter. I am a friend. And I take all of those roles really seriously in life. But I think we're here mainly to talk about me as a business owner. So I'm the CEO and co-founder of Eosera. And we are an ear care company based in Fort Worth, Texas.
I love it. And we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. Trust me, I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a father. Yeah, father, husband. And I'll be a grandfather within
What?
hours or days or a week or two, whatever my daughter's
You don't
body
look old enough
decides.
for that.
Thank you.
So
I'm 52.
yeah, well, you look great.
I appreciate it, as you do as well. So let's dive into Eosera first, the company, and I'll just give people the cliffhanger here. I got a press release. Google News Alert, side note, content does work. You just don't know who's watching it. So do all the things I teach, for years at least. I have a book out, Celebrity CEO, Publicity and PR and Content. That's my forte. So I just saw Google News Alert, competition, something coming up, which grabbed my eye. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. It must be from some, event company or some pitch company or something. And I'm like, wait a minute, ear solutions, Elyse, which brings us here today. But Elyse, tell us about Eosera, a little bit about what does that company do that you founded, and feel free to take your time and tell us why you founded it, how you founded it. I'd love to hear a little bit
Yeah.
about that journey.
All right. So I sort of grew up in the eye care
Okay.
industry. After business school, I worked for a company called Alcon, and they're the world leader in eye care. And so I got to travel the world. I worked for them for about 13 years, and I learned a tremendous amount about how to build brands, how to build products that consumers and doctors actually need. And then in 2015, I woke up and I no longer had a job. And I share that very frankly because they don't teach you that in business school. They don't say like you can get fired and you can be laid off and you have no control over it. And so it was a devastating time for me personally. I realized how much of my being was wrapped up in my career.
And I must say, Elyse, I've gone through that at the UN, probably because that time, over 10 years, it's not like 2 years, you don't know nobody, you don't care. Okay, I'll pick up. But over 10 years, enough you're in there. But please go ahead,
Yeah, yeah. And but it was also this magical time now in retrospect, right? It
Sure.
didn't feel magical
Yes.
then, but to reinvent myself and to see
Mm,
what I was really capable of. Because inside of a huge corporation,
mm,
you have your role and you have your title
mhm.
and your, paycheck, but you're not really pushing the boundaries of who you can be as a leader and innovator. So my co-founder was also at Alcon and he was let go at the exact same time within a month or two. And we saw a gap in the ear care category. And when I say a gap, I mean, we realized that manufacturers were not paying attention to the over-the-counter ear care market,
Mm,
which is shelved with eye care. And so I had always been paying attention because I was running an eye care
mhm,
brand.
mhm,
And so we started talking to doctors, and over, doctors were telling us if you could develop a product for earwax impaction that actually works and that people could use at home, you will have a gold mine.
mhm.
And so we set out, we said, all right, this can't be that hard. It's earwax,
Of course. I mean, duh.
Right. It's not cancer, it's earwax. And so Joe and I got into a lab, and this is where I talk about like being a continuous learner throughout your life and not being afraid to like dig into information that
Mhm,
you're not an expert in. And so
mhm,
I was reading clinical data, I was reading patents, I was reading all sorts of research, and my co-founder is a scientist,
mhm,
so
mhm,
he was driving that ship at that
mhm.
time. But we formulated a product that dissolved earwax in 15 minutes, and that was a complete game changer from what was on the market. And so now all of a sudden people could treat at home efficiently, effectively, clear their ears out, get on with their life. And we needed $50,000 to run a clinical trial. And there just happened to be a business pitch competition in Dallas, and the prize was $50,000 in cash.
You can't make this
And
up.
you can't make it up. And so I looked at Joe, and he reminds me of this all the time, because we're sitting in this, we had this one little table at Corner Bakery, that was our office, right?
I love it.
Every day, the same table at Corner Bakery. Don't sit at my table. And I looked at him, I said, I'm going to win that. And he was like, go for it. Yes. And so I worked day and night on this pitch. I had 10 minutes to deliver the pitch of my life, and I won.
Of course.
And so I just worked really hard. Yes. And I took a lot of feedback, a lot of practice. I was determined, because that money really allowed us to start the company. And so we got a lot of press around winning that pitch competition. And so then I had investors calling us, and it validated, we're onto something. And so that was the start of Eosera. And really, my dream was always to pay that forward.
Yes.
And so that's why now we host. I started a foundation as our company became successful. I started a foundation, and we look for women entrepreneurs that have a multi-million-dollar scalable idea, and we are funding that. And so this year we're going to give away $52.5 thousand, and $42.5 thousand, and we're just every year we're increasing the amount we're giving away, and we're helping change those women's lives.
I love it. And I believe the competition you've done is a few years. It's 6 years, maybe. Did I read somewhere?
This will be our fourth year.
Fourth. I was close. 6-4.
Yeah.
Potato.
Yeah. It's close. It's close. Yeah.
Before I get to the pitch competition, please remind me. I have a lot of competitions I want to ask about how to successfully pitch. I'd love to hear some stories of those. I'm sure all the ladies, they're your favorite, but I want to hear just a few, for examples. Yeah. But going back to Eosera, tell me about Eosera today. National company, global company. Do I walk into an office? I go to Amazon, order something? Just tell us some of the speeds and feeds of Eosera today.
Yeah. So let me tell you a little bit about a little more about the evolution.
Please. Great.
So after we came up with our product, I was offered 15 minutes with the buyer at CVS. And this was like my second most important pitch of my life, right? Because if the buyer at CVS would give this product a go, that would, give us revenue, like real revenue. And so again, I flew to Florida. He was going to be at a conference there, had 15 minutes, practice. And so at the end of the pitch, I said, I would love for you to take this in 2,000 stores, thinking that he would take it in about 500 doors and try it. That's what a lot of these retailers do. They'll test a product, especially from a nobody like us at the time. Yeah. And he looked at me and he said, nope. I love it. And I want it in 8,000. I want it nationwide, all 8,000 stores. And by the way, I need it in 3 months. And any entrepreneur will tell you, that was our oh shit moment, if I'm allowed to say that.
You are.
It was the moment of, oh my gosh, I don't have a contract manufacturer. That's I don't have final packaging. How am I going to do this? And we hustled, and we got all the orders out on time, and we had a very successful launch. And so fast forward to today, we're in about 28,000 stores nationwide. We don't only have one product, we have a whole line of ear care products. So we have a product for ear pain. So think about when you're kids, or even as adults, we have an ear infection and all that pain that's associated with it. We have Ear Pain MD, which, it's a lidocaine drop. You put it right in the ear, and you can get on with your life. And so we now manufacture everything in our office. So where I'm sitting, we have a whole manufacturing and distribution facility, and So today, yeah, we make all of our own products in America and sell them in America through all major retailers.
I love it. Congratulations. Can you share, if you don't want to, no problem,
Yeah.
but can you share us the range of the gross revenue of your company, what the range is?
We don't share that, but you
Okay.
can kind of do some math if you're in 10 products and 28,000 doors. I mean, it's a very sizable business.
Okay, very nice. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And curious, I have maybe you can help me diagnose something. When I say something to my wife, sometimes she doesn't understand me. Sometimes we fight. Do you have a drop or something that I can put in her ear or put on her shoulder, like somehow she can go, "Oh, honey," anything like that? Are y'all developing something? And if it's just between you and I, a secret, let me know. You need a little quick drop. 10 minutes later, she'll just understand.
Yeah, we call that selective hearing in our household. And I just think it's a byproduct of marriage.
It is what it is. So, Eosera, I will find a little hidden tab there. It says, Ramon, click here.
But that would be a really funny product. I think you just given me an idea.
Yes.
It's the magic drops
know
for
what?
selective hearing.
That could be your third, like, little fun gig, like a little, actually, me and my wife do marriage conferences, and somebody has done a video like that, the things we just talked about in marriage, where like, the guy's talking, the wife's talking, and I don't hear you. So, exactly. Before we dive into the pitch competition, which I believe is happening as we're recording this in a few months.
Applications are open, yeah.
But what did you do right? You've seen pitches go right?
Yeah.
You've seen pitches. Some people don't like the word, but I'm gonna call it like it is, wrong. And sometimes it's just a matter of, hey, we picked Jenny, didn't pick you five. You all were great, but we had to pick one. I've been a judge at many competitions. But what did you do right, Elyse? Let's go from your playbook. You did this $50,000 pitch. You pitched this person at CVS. What did you do right? Give us a masterclass on what you did, or just help us understand pitching in general. Take it away. Just pitch.
Yeah. So there's a few key takeaways, right? One is you have to keep your message simple, and the goal is that anybody that is listening to the pitch can go and repeat that pitch to whoever they see, right? And they can only hear it once. And so you can't overcomplicate your message. And that is the biggest mistake I see of presenters, especially if they have a technology. They don't dumb it down enough, and they get into the weeds of the technical pieces of their invention. And it's like, nobody cares. Like, tell me the impact. How is this going to impact me or society? So keeping it simple, because I wanted every investor or every buyer to be able to go to their boss or their spouse or whoever and tell my story, right? And so I kept it really simple. The other one is you got to be all in. And when I say all in, like, passion has to exude from your pores, right? And if you are flat on stage or flat in your delivery, you've lost. It doesn't matter what you say. And that doesn't always come naturally. Actually, it really doesn't come naturally for most people. And so that's the third most important thing, is you have to practice. And I think so many people, they think the people that look so natural on stage have not practiced, but I guarantee you they have practiced more than you could ever imagine. And it's the people that, And so you get your brush, you stand in front of the mirror,
That's right.
and you give it over and over and over, and you give it to a small room of friendly people, and you get feedback, and then you do it in front of a room of a little bigger, because you got to be comfortable. And then when you're on that stage, at least at our pitch competition, there'll be 300 people in the audience, and you're on a stage, and there's huge lights, and like you gotta be able to exude your energy and bring the crowd along.
Yeah, it's funny you said about energy and practice. Two things I'll share is that again, as you can tell, I love this which brought us pitching and events and all these things. I've heard pitches before where what they were saying didn't make so much sense, didn't get it per se, and that's still important because you said that was point one. But they were so energetic, they were so appreciative, they were so, "Hi, Mr. Ray," and so forth. I brought samples. I'm like, you know what? I don't know what this girl said, but just I want her to win. So, it's just because you have to pick somebody. But I like what you said also about the clarity. I've been somewhere where, let's say they're describing, this remote has DX580 in it. It's black number 507CQ, not the darker shade, the lighter shade. And I'm like, whoa, you mean it's a remote?
Exactly. And what does it do for me? Like, just tell me what it does for me.
Exactly.
Why do I need your remote?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so those two things I love. Let's talk about some of the ladies, the women, the professionals, the entrepreneurs who've come through your competition. Any one or two that come to mind, whether you want to mention a name or just pull
Yeah.
them all together metaphorically, but talk about some of the ones you
So
remember and where they're at today.
yeah, so let me talk about last year.
Sure.
Lynn Calloway, she is building this incredible business called Good Dirt. She's in Austin, Texas, and it is a good for you soda. And I will not do her brand justice, but she wowed us because she's super gritty, right? She and her husband really have built the business so far. They've tested the product in Sprouts. They sold out. It's a mushroom based soda, so it's a prebiotic, good for good healthy gut, right? Which is an emerging business, right? And I'm just so excited to see what she does. And she got on stage. She brought product for everybody to try, which was huge.
That's a winner.
It's a winner,
That's right.
right? And that's expensive for an entrepreneur. Like they don't have tons of money coming out of their ears, right? And so, but she brought product. She had a test case where she had sold out at Sprouts, and the passion, my gosh, like she exuded it, right?
You can still feel it, right? To this day, you
I can still feel it.
Yes,
still feel it. And so she's one that like, I try to talk to her every couple of weeks and help her and she's in the throes of it, right? She's trying to raise money, and money is tight right now, but you got to be capitalized to produce product, and so but she's hanging in there, and so I really am excited to see what she does, and keeping eyes on her. And then the year before, a woman named Sarah, she has a business, Audiolo, and I love her story because it was she had worked in the film industry, and she saw that voiceover for animated movies and videos, I guess. And again, I'm not going to do it justice, but they were tracking audio in Excel spreadsheets. And she was like, we need a real system to track audio layover for all this animation. And so she got busy, right? And she's like, nobody else is building it. I'm going to build it. And she got up on stage, and again, super technical, but she made it so easy to visualize and understand. And she won.
I love it.
So anyway, we see a lot of cool businesses. There's so many women doing amazing things, men too.
No,
but
I understand.
Women are still undercapitalized, and less than 2% of venture capital is going to these women. And the little bit that I can help them out and expose them to the world, hopefully they will be successful and pay it forward too.
I love it. And kudos to you, Elyse. I'm so glad you're a rock star to me. You're in my hall of fame. Trust me. I collect amazing entrepreneurs. I had a call with Jason Fried, Basecamp 37 Signals.
Oh yeah. Amazing.
I had a call with him 2 days ago. Just what a guy. I was like, fangirling. I'm like, Jason, like, Ramon, calm down. It's an interview.
And we used Basecamp when we got started. We used Basecamp.
Yes.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Good. I wanted to ask. I wanted to go back to Eosera a bit here. Eosera. Just talk about some of the tentacles of building a business. So. I tend to ask 100 questions in one breath, so thank you for your patience with me. But I want to ask generically for all businesses, tips and advice. I'll get there in a minute. But can you talk about your journey? Because I want to underline that I'm guessing you're dealing with manufacturing, logistics, outsourcing, insourcing. Well, you said you manufactured there, but I'm sure you didn't just get an X-Acto knife to make what you're making. Capital-intensive equipment, maybe there's some FDA or FCC or regulations or not, but all the stuff. Can you just bundle all my questions together and talk about maybe some of the challenges to build Eosera and some of the milestones? Can you recap that for us? Just what got you here today to what I'm guessing is a smooth running ship, and things are, you probably still have issues, but talk about that.
There, if I knew what I was going to have to learn when I started this business, I'm not sure I would have ever started. Because the learning curve is so steep. And I think anyone that's going into entrepreneurship just needs to have the mindset that I'm going to take one baby step at a time. And I'm not going to worry about what it looks like in 3 years. I'm not really even going to worry about what it looks like in a year. I'm going to worry about this week, especially in the early stages. Because I had no background in manufacturing or quality, and we deal with the FDA, right? So all that stuff, we made massive mistakes. And what I learned is mistakes are fine. It's how you respond, right? And this is life lessons, right? You're gonna screw up. And so rather than wallow in your failure, just buck up and take the step forward. Like, what do you have to do? And so we had a recall in 2020 where we had made some mistakes. It was a voluntary recall. And, that was a real low point in the business. We could have gone under, but I decided, you know what? I'm going to just be upfront with everybody about how we failed. I'm going to call the investors. I'm going to call the retailers. And the coolest thing happened. Like, I had all this fear and, I was crying and like just so scared, because what were people going to think of me?
Of course, that name itself,
right?
the word itself is so,
right? Like, Elyse is a failure. She didn't know what
Yes.
she's doing. Why did I trust her with my investment? And the coolest thing was like the investors and especially the retailers, they all responded with, we got your back. Like, thank you for telling us. What do you need? How can we help? And so I think it was like this amazing lesson for me that just ask for help and people will pour into you. And then when you have something to offer, pour into other people. And it's like this amazing karma in the world, right? And so we've ridden that wave of karma through the journey, but we didn't know anything when we started. I thought I knew a lot about business. I didn't know anything. I knew I had a good idea and I knew how to build a brand. But other than that, I didn't know how to set up our financials. I didn't know how to set up our corporate entity. I didn't know how to raise capital. And the list, goes on and on. But you just figure it out and you just ask a bunch of questions. We were really fortunate in that we joined an incubator called Tech Fort Worth.
Okay, nice.
And it's a nonprofit in the city of Fort Worth. And entrepreneurs like me can go there and reside there. And we got this amazing mentorship and sort of business coaches. And so they helped me set up my QuickBooks. They helped me figure out how to file a patent. They, anything I needed, they had seen it before. And so I think finding something like that as an entrepreneur is really, really important.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, listen, there's Marie Forleo, it talks, her book, Everything is Figure Outable. You went through that
Right.
season. I've gone through that season. I'm going through that season as I dream up new things.
Yeah.
And though, I think also having the easy button, if I can call Elyse, hey, Elyse, listen, real quick, tell me, how did you do this with WordPress or whatever the thing we're working on? It short circuits my learning curve. So I love that. And you may have already answered the question I was asked. I think you've already answered it, but I'll ask it again just in case anything different. Any thoughts on and advice on overall business growth, business success? If you're talking to the ladies, especially at the pitch competition. Oh, before I forget, can you just tell us the website for the pitch competition, things like that? I'll get to that. Can you just talk about the pitch competition?
Yeah. So eosera.com, you can go there and learn about the pitch competition. The applications are open. And what I would say is apply, right? Like, if you meet the requirements, apply, and you might not get picked, but you might, and just imagine what could happen. Take the video portion really seriously. I think we give you either 60 or 90 seconds to tell us who you are and what your business is. And if you can't communicate it in 60 to 90 seconds, start over, rework it. And I'll tell you, so many people in years past, we tell them a time frame, they give us a 3-minute video, 5-minute video, they're out.
I hear that
follow
so
directions.
many times. Yes, even the TEDx and all those things. I have friends who are doing that. They're like, we said in there, whatever the criteria, you have 4 hours, you have 2 minutes, doesn't even matter. Follow it. If Elyse said you have 2 minutes and 30 seconds, 4 minutes, you broke the rule.
That's right.
2,
and you're out.
Just too long.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, but I really encourage anyone, and if you know other female entrepreneurs, have them apply, and I can't wait to read the applications. I personally am part of the narrowing down, and then we have a panel of judges that narrows down from semifinals, but I can't wait to meet you.
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you for
Yeah.
looking at. I'm going to take this and share it with the world. This clip right here.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay. So, anything else on business success advice for the generic? You're talking to a room full of
Yeah.
10,000 people, Elyse. You don't know
Yeah.
who they are. All you know is they're entrepreneurs, and half of them are not in business yet. The other half have been in business for 2 to 3 years. They're still stumbling along. What is your
Yeah.
best advice?
Well, I think surround yourself with people smarter than you, because they're out there and they're willing to help you, and they'll help you for free.
Yes.
And so that was my biggest learning first. I think a lot of entrepreneurs fail because they think they're supposed to know it all, and they just don't reach out for help. So that's the number one. Number two, get your finances in order. And so whether it's your personal finances, that's where you got to start, right? And I tell every we bring interns in here, and every young college kid that I get to talk to, I'm like, start saving now. Even if it's $25 a month, start putting that money away, because when your idea strikes you, you're going to have a little nest egg, and it might be a couple $1,000s. It might be $20,000, but that's going to give you the freedom when that moment strikes, to have some financial capability, because it does take money and it takes time. And so that's number two. And then number three is financial stability in the business. And so this idea that it's top line at all growth, at all cost, and you don't have to have a profit, it doesn't make sense. It's not sustainable. I know you read about all that stuff, in Fast Magazine, and the stable, sustainable businesses are profitable, and they're profitable early. And so even if it's, $100,000 in profit or $50,000 in profit in the first year, have a mindset that you are going to make money. You're not going to operate at a loss. And I think that will attract investors. It will allow you a sustainable platform to grow.
Yeah. And I think, I'm here at Airbnb. I think, as I told you, my daughter's giving birth soon. And so I'm watching more TV in my home office. I don't have a TV in the office. It's just a different setup. I have all the Netflix and all that. But here I'm watching CNBC and Yahoo. And I think the allure of that, I could be wrong, Elyse, but tell me what you think. Let's discuss this, is that you see the major headlines, and they have to cover something, right? They have to have TV. So you see the stock up and down, and that valuation's $1 billion. And hey, they're losing money, but don't worry, Betty Off is going to buy them for billions. That's a small, minuscule percentage of the regular businesses. The rest are probably like you, Elyse, and you're probably at the upper crust of business. But what I'm trying to get at is Main Street business. We're making $3 million a year, $10 million a year, 50, whatever the thing is. We're making $800,000 a year, and we're profitable, paying myself, paying my company, adding value to my community. And God bless America. That's at least my little rant. I don't know. Right. What do you think?
I 100% agree. And you've got to remain true to that.
Yeah.
And I do, we were in a situation where we didn't pay ourselves for the first 2 years.
That happens, part of the path.
But we could, right? But if you can't, then you need to figure out how to pay yourself enough. Right. Don't be greedy, right? But pay yourself enough that you're not worried about putting food on the table or paying the rent, or because you need to have a clear mind to grow this business.
No, I love it. Elyse, anything I didn't ask you, anything you wanted to say? This has been, an amazing interview. And I realize when I give executives their time back, they say yes to me if I want to interview them again. So anything else you wanted to touch on or mention, anything I didn't ask you, feel free.
No, I love what you're putting out into the world. And I appreciate, sharing our message about the pitch competition. And yeah, if anybody's got ear problems, check us out. We're here for you, and we'd love your support.
I love it. And everybody, my name is Ramon Ray, zoneofgenius.com. Definitely check out Eosera, Eosera, Eosera.com. And you can see the little button right on their site, Pitch Competition. We'll have this in the notes. But Elyse, thanks for being here. You're my new BFF. I appreciate you spending time with us today. Thank you.
Thank you.